Thank you, Jane. Hello and welcome to Look North. On the programme tonight, a teenager who had passed his driving test just the day before killing his passenger is jailed for 5 years.
A young life has been ended. Another 2 lives have been ruined. For what? Showing off.
We'll have a report from today's court sentencing. Also tonight, a Rotherham mum calls for more fire safety awareness after her son was severely burned while playing near a bonfire. Handmade tributes stitching together remembrance in villages and cities across our region.
Join me later on Look North here at Gulliver's Valley, Land of Light. It's brilliant.
And it's turned into a dreary old afternoon. We've had rain and drizzle, some mist and fog. Will we see any improvements for the weekend? Well, join me for that all-important forecast.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Corey Cooper was just 17 when he got into a car being driven by a friend who'd only just passed his driving test. The driver lost control and crashed into metal fencing, killing Corey. Well, today a judge sentenced that friend to 5 years behind bars, telling him you've wrecked the lives of 2 families as well as wrecking the lives of your own. Phil Bodmer was at Sheffield Crown Court.
Phone footage showing a speeding car driven by Corey Cooper before it was involved in a collision which killed 17-year-old Joshua Atkins. The lifelong Sheffield United supporter was riding as a front seat passenger when the vehicle crashed on Myersgrove Lane in Stannington in November 2023. Today, Corey Cooper, who is now 19, was jailed for 5 years.
This case should be called to the attention of all young people who have just passed the driving test. It is a case of a young man, aged 17 as you were, driving a car deplorably, almost certainly trying to show off to friends.
Sheffield Crown Court was told Cooper, who was then also aged 17, had only passed his driving test just the day before. Tests undertaken by police showed Mr Cooper had been travelling in excess of the 20 miles per hour speed limit. Investigators established the speed as between 47 and 53 miles per hour, around a half a mile from the site of the crash. The exact speed at the time of the collision was unclear. The hearing was told warning lights regarding the vehicle's ABS braking system were lit up on the dashboard. A victim impact statement read out on behalf of Gabrielle Wiggett, who was seriously injured in the crash, said, "Josh was my best friend. No words can express the pain. The grief is relentless. I suffer with anxiety and flashbacks. I'm still trying to piece myself together. The day of the accident will haunt me for the rest of my life." In a plea hearing at Sheffield Crown Court in August, Cooper admitted causing death by dangerous driving and to seriously injuring a second of his passengers, Gabrielle Wiggett. After sentencing, Joshua's family spoke on the steps of Sheffield Crown Court.
Josh was taken from us in the most senseless way, killed by dangerous driving that should never have happened. He was just 17 years old and full of promise, laughter and happiness.
The hearing was told Cooper of Marchwood Road in Stannington carried out donut manoeuvres and wheel spins in the vehicle in a car park before the crash. Described as a popular and vibrant young man with many friends, Joshua's heartbroken family said following his death they took great solace from the fact he helped give the gift of life to 4 others through organ donation. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Phil Bodmer reporting there on the sentencing of Corey Cooper for killing his friend Joshua Atkins. Apologies for our error reporting those names earlier. Next tonight, a mother from Rotherham is calling for more fire safety awareness after her son was severely burned while playing near their home. 12-year-old Hunter was engulfed in flames after a boy threw a petrol canister onto a fire. He's still recovering from his injuries. Just a warning, there may be some images you find distressing in Michelle Lyon's report.
Since coming out of hospital, 12-year-old Hunter hasn't been able to walk far and has spent most of his time in bed. He was severely burned in August while playing with friends near his home in Dinnington.
I was going up to the park to see my friends, but none of them were there. So I went on to back at school field. They were there, and I went up to them. They were having a fire, and one chucked a petrol can on.
His hand, the front of his head, his eyebrows, his eyelashes, burnt his lips, the bottom of his neck and fingers. His clothes were stuck to him from the fire, so when we got to Sheffield Children's, they then cut his clothes off and realised they had took all the back of his right leg all the way up the side, his kneecap, top of his thigh.
Hunter spent 4.5 weeks in Sheffield Children's Hospital with his mum by his side. He needed multiple skin grafts and still has to go back twice a week for treatment on his leg, which became infected. South Yorkshire Fire and Rescue see an upturn in calls around this time of year. They've launched a safety campaign called Dark Night to try and educate young people about the dangers of bonfires and fireworks.
I think when you're a young adult, teenager, you feel like you're invincible, you feel like you can do whatever. We don't always look at that ripple effect or what could actually happen to you. So hearing stories like Hunter's, it was trying to get that message out there and show this is actually the kind of thing that could happen to you if you are playing with fireworks, if you're playing with fire.
Hunter learned the hard way. He'll have to live with the emotional and physical scars for the rest of his life. His family hope his story will prevent others from making the same mistake.
It's not good to light fires, and no one should be doing it.
I don't want anyone else to be in the position that we're in. Like, it's not nice for the child, but it's not nice for the parents or the family around you.
Michelle Lyons, BBC Look North, Dinnington.
And we wish Hunter a good ongoing recovery. The mother of a teenager who was murdered in Leeds 2 years ago has been told that his killer could be released earlier than she thought. Alfie Lewis was 15 when he was stabbed in Horsforth 2 years ago. His killer was told he would serve at least 13 years in detention, but Alfie's mum Heather is heartbroken after learning from the Ministry of Justice that his sentence could be reviewed once he's served half of that. She's been speaking to our reporter Beth Parsons.
I suppose you're in a bubble and you don't realise what's happening now. Reality's starting to come. He's not coming home.
She describes her grief as something that gets harder and harder as time goes on. It's been 2 years since Heather lost her son Alfie, and there are 2 benches where she and his friends remember him. This is the first time she's come to see this one in Horsforth Hall Park.
There's quite an orange theme that goes on with both benches, isn't there?
Yeah, Alfie's favourite colour was orange. People sometimes think it's because of his hair colour, but it was actually his favourite colour, and Garfield was his nickname.
On November the 7th, 2023, Alfie was stabbed in the heart and the leg on Church Road here in Horsforth just before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Despite efforts from medical staff, he died in hospital later that day.
You think we could have done something different, like when we got the phone call that he'd been stabbed and we ran up to him. I didn't go to him because he was having CPR done and I didn't want to get in the way. And I just know that I just wish I'd just held him and just made everyone move out the way and just let me just hold him.
The 14-year-old who killed Alfie was detained for life with a minimum term of 13 years. Heather says she's recently received communication from the Ministry of Justice saying because of his age, his sentence could be reviewed after serving half of it.
I think it's disgusting. I think it's horrible. I think 13 years was an insult to Alfie. But unless the sentences get changed, knife crime will never stop. There's no deterrent at all, and knife crime will never, ever, ever stop, and it will never change until the sentencing changes.
Alfie has been remembered at 2 benches today, 2 years on from his death. Heather says there will be fireworks and balloons to mark the day this evening, and there are plans to work with schools in Leeds next year to help educate children on knife crime and its devastating impact. It's going to be called the Alfie Lewis Project. Beth Parsons, BBC Lit North, Leeds.
Well, a government spokesperson confirmed that Alfie's killer would be eligible for a review of his minimum tariff at the halfway point. They said the murder of Alfie Lewis was a heinous crime and our greatest sympathy goes to his mother and family. Bardia Shajiavad will only be released if the parole board, which is independent of government, decides it is safe after a thorough risk assessment. Even if released, he will be monitored by the probation service and can be brought back to jail to keep the public safe. Some more news from around the region, and 3 men have been charged with murder following the death of an inmate at Wakefield Prison this week. Kyle Bevan was serving a life sentence for the murder of his partner's 2-year-old daughter in 2020. The 32-year-old was found dead in his cell on Wednesday. Lee Newell, David Taylor and Mark Fellows, who are also inmates, have been charged with murder and will appear at Leeds Crown Court on Monday. A man from Barnsley who rigged a house with tripwires and minor explosives inspired by the movie Home Alone has been told to expect significant jail time. Police discovered that 60-year-old Ian Clawton had heavily fortified 3 properties in Grimethorpe to protect his drug enterprise. Clawton and his wife Leslie were found guilty of several drugs and firearms offences following a trial at Doncaster Crown Court. They'll be sentenced in February. Now on to the sport, and Sally is here with all the latest. Sally.
Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, well, England face Australia in the 3rd and final test of the Rugby League Ashes tomorrow, hosted at Headingley. The Aussies are 2-0 up, so have already won the series, but the match sold out months ago, so a rip-roaring crowd is guaranteed, and we went to Headingley this morning for the captain's run.
7, 8,
The Kangaroos are in a bouncy mood, and why not? They've already won the Ashes Test, now they're going for the clean sweep, but they're still wary of an England side with nothing to lose.
It's back against the wall for sure, and I think you speak for most teams, that's probably where you're most dangerous. So it's yeah, we certainly know we'll get their best effort for sure. The way they've competed through this whole series has been outstanding, but I dare say there'll probably be a little bit more freedom to their attack, and I'd like to think that for us as well. But yeah, all in all, it's going to be a wonderful test match. There'll be a lot of brutality at the start, I'm sure, and yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Now, we love our rugby league here in Yorkshire, but in Australia it is the most watched sport on TV, meaning these guys are genuine sporting stars, and that's why this game sold out within 48 hours. And the Aussies have brought their own travelling superfans, many of them watching all 3 games in this test.
We've won, there wasn't a doubt, was there? Let's face it. No, we've really enjoyed it, the atmosphere.
You know, England being the underdogs will probably put on a good fight, but I think we'll still come away with the win.
Digger's been all around the world, mate, and he's on tour. He's been everywhere.
And how's he found it here in Yorkshire?
He loves it.
England weren't at today's captain's run at Headingley. They were always the underdogs in the test, beaten at Wembley by 26 points to 6, but did look more competitive in Liverpool. Could they give the Headingley crowd something to shout about?
So if it's not going to be England's day, I'm hoping the Aussies tomorrow put on an attacking clinic for the British fans so we can admire how good these guys are. But you never know, miracles may happen. Miracles may happen. Australia may have a terrible off day and Great Britain and England have one of them days.
Tomorrow, a capacity crowd will pack Headingley, with England hoping they can bring out the fireworks and stop the Roos running away with it. I think it'll be a lively one. Now, the administrators in charge of running Sheffield Wednesday say that bidders with significant financial means are interested in buying the club. Wednesday and the company which owns Hillsborough were put into administration in October. 7 bidders wanting to buy the club have already come forward, and more are expected.
Pretty confident we've got the cash flow sorted now, so as long as fans continue to buy tickets at the rate that we've predicted, we'll be okay. All of the 7 interested parties we've got at the moment are likely to significantly improve the situation, and a few of the parties have got significant financial means, so there's a few that would probably revolutionise the club.
Things are starting to look up for Sheffield Wednesday, aren't they? And about time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Sally. Now, people across the region will be marking Remembrance Sunday this weekend with parades, services and 2-minute silences at 11 o'clock. For weeks, some communities have been making poignant remembrance displays with knitted poppies and soldier silhouettes, showing they'll never forget the sacrifice made by millions. Here's Olivia Richwald.
In Hoylandsway near Penistone, a whole community effort has created a remembrance trail from the War Memorial to the church. 7 villagers lost their lives during the First and Second World Wars.
The names are on the War Memorial, but too often people just drive past. But this has really driven it home that these 7 people actually walked around in this village and were community members until they left. And, you know, but for them, where would we be now?
Emotional, to be honest.
Emotional.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
And I think it's triggered, I mean, I've grandchildren in the village and they've talked about the soldiers and, well, where did they live, Granny? And so it's made this little generation also, they've had a project at school about it. And I just think it's yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
You do a running stitch all the way around the edge, and then at the end you just pull it tight and it like scrunches in into like a little poppy, and then you sew a little button in the middle.
Textile students from Harrogate High School visited Hampton House Nursing Home to work with residents stitching and sticking poppies for a dress.
Today's been really good. We've been showing the people at the care home how to make poppies and sew and use all kinds of different materials, and it's been really good.
I like to make things, and I also really like to give people things because it's really nice to see them smile when they have it.
I'm Paula and this is my mum Marion. She's just loving the company and all the people being here together. Yeah, and it's just lovely to see what Rosie's doing.
Margaret Yeaman, 90. I have made the most beautiful poppy that you ever saw with the help of 2 wonderful girls. And I got a degree for it. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
The Ripon Community Poppy Project set itself an unusual challenge, turning 2,000 knitted poppies into a dress fit for a remembrance concert in the cathedral. When not being worn by soprano Charlotte Potter, it was sported by a mannequin on display in the market square.
Well, the ladies started to knit poppies about a year ago, but we didn't tell them what they were being used for. And it's only quite recently we let them in on the secret.
Well, every project is a challenge. Whatever project we do, we enjoy it and we like to see the end result.
I'm absolutely delighted. I'm blown away. I knew the ladies could pull it off.
I'm afraid none of those will fit into it. Too many cream cakes and cups of coffee.
Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North.
Wow, some beautiful displays there. Now, if you're a fan of all things dance, then this one's for you. A programme dedicated to all stars of the genre is due to air on BBC4 this weekend. Aptly named Dance Passion Bradford, it showcases local talent from ballet to Bhangra. It's been filmed in the city and surrounding countryside and is part of the Bradford 2025 City of Culture celebrations. Earlier, I caught up with 3 dancers who feature in the show, and I started by asking about their fabulous costumes.
So it's all about the rhinestones, the glitter, the big headpieces. You just want to look $1 million, really.
It looks absolutely incredible. Of course, we all watch Strictly, so we're all about the glitter and the glamour right now. Mittal, Kathak dancing, I've never heard of that. If you can just tell us what that's about.
So Kathak is an Indian classical dance form. In India, we have various dance forms, but this particular style is from the northern part of India, and it's more about, it's very similar to your classical jazz, could add even classical ballet, because it has got lots of pirouettes, lots of rhythmic patterns and expressionary part, which is called abhinaya. So it's from the Kathakas, the storytellers.
And Charlotte, the swimming. I know it is synchronised swimming, but it's called artistic swimming, isn't it? How did you get into that?
Well, I started when I was 4.
and continued competing when I was younger, and then had a bit of a break, set my own club up, coached, and now I'm back into it, swimming competitively again.
And there must be a lot of training involved, because looking at those pictures, you must be so strong.
Yeah, there's an element of dance, obviously. We've got gymnastics, we've got a swimming element, lots of acrobatics as well. So we've got to be really strong, really flexible, and got to be able to hold your breath a long time as well.
I bet. Ella, how did you feel to be asked to take part in this project?
I was really excited. For me, it's super important that disco freestyle gets represented in these programmes, because it's not often seen on professional stages. So it was just a really good opportunity to show the world what disco freestyle is.
And Mittel, the viewers do get a chance to see completely different dances. As we were talking about Kathak dancing, it's the idea to inspire people to get involved too.
Absolutely. It's making people understand that there are so many other dance forms rather than what they see every day. So it's like knowing the culture, knowing the diversity, and it's all about bringing different lifestyles and different traditions together. So classical jazz and Kathak, if you see, are very similar. So it's bringing both together. That means bringing the world and having a global approach for everybody.
And Charlotte, I'm sure you've learnt things too. I mean, you're amazing in your field, but presumably seeing these other dances, it's something you might not want to contemplate yourself.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, taking elements from each style of dance, it would be amazing to do a collaboration of styles within our sport.
Well, it looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to watch the full hour. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
And you can see Dance Passion Bradford on Sunday at 8 o'clock on BBC 4. Now, take a look at this. Isn't it beautiful? A spectacular lantern festival that's set to light up Rotherham this winter opens this weekend. The festival Land of Light is the first of its kind at the Gulliver's Valley Resort. It begins tomorrow and runs on selected nights until the end of January. Tom Ingle is at a special preview event that's taking place there this evening.
Yes, last week we dispensed with all the spooky stuff of Halloween. This week it was the flashes and bangs of firework night. So we are absolutely due some Christmas lights. Yes, well, tonight Gulliver's Valley haven't disappointed. They have put theirs on all the way through to the end of January, and they look spectacular. And even better, we have a true local legend to switch them on, as is the best tradition. Paul, welcome to Look North. You don't need my welcome. You're frankly, part of the programme now. Yeah. What's it like to switch on Christmas lights in November? That feels very early.
It is very early, but it gives people time to come along here, because it's fabulous. It's the Land of Lights, absolutely beautiful. Well, you've seen it yourself.
It looks brilliant, doesn't it?
It's absolutely gorgeous, yeah.
Now, I saw inside the main building here earlier, Chuckle Street, which is a museum to what you and your brother have done for entertainment over the years. It didn't disappoint. How do you feel about being a museum piece, Grandad?
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's great. I mean, to go down there, even some of the stuff, because we presented them the stuff to use, obviously most of it, and to look back at them, and see them again. Every year I come back on the anniversary of the opening and see it again every time, and it's brilliant.
And Christmas is a really busy time for you, isn't it?
It is, yes. I'm going to Hull in pantomime this year, Beauty and the Beast. Quick advert.
Absolutely.
10th of December till the 31st.
I'm there, front row of the stalls. Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Congratulations for pressing the plunger and cutting the ribbon for tonight. Julie, MD of Gulliver's Valley. Now, 5 years since you've opened?
5.5 years since we opened, slap bang in the middle of COVID. So
you've had your work cut out. It's been pretty much uphill since then, has it?
It's been like a roller coaster, I would call it. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, but we are absolutely starting to fly now. It's an amazing time of the year.
How important is this festive time? As I say, your lights are on to the end of January, which speaks for itself.
Yeah, this is a really important time for us, right the way through with all our Christmas events. We welcome the big man himself next week, who turns up to come and see us. But yeah, now December is our second busiest month of the year, because we put on these events. We invest, and they're an amazing trail.
Oh, well, good luck for Christmas this year for you and your employees, and good luck in pantomime.
Cheers, mate.
For me, I'm off to roast them. No, we said we weren't going to do that. No. From me.
Well, you shouldn't have said to you.
No. Amanda, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now, finally, next Friday, Children in Need returns, and we want to know what you're doing to raise money this year. The more extreme, the better. Get in touch on email look.north@bbc.co.uk, or do scan the QR code on the screen now, and we might even feature your efforts on Look North. Imagine that. Now, speaking of efforts, there was a vision in Lycra went streaking past me around Hay Park this morning.
Oh, yes.
And it was you running.
Yeah, I made it.
Oh, well done.
I didn't think I would do it at some stage.
Bit soft underfoot
it's
there.
soft underfoot, but I did my 5K this morning. I'm very pleased.
Very good.
There was a bit of sunshine this morning as well, Amanda. Look at that, Scarborough. That was about 10 o'clock, looking very, very nice indeed. And I've got one from the Shibden Valley. This is Halifax, of course. Absolutely stunning there. There was a little bit of mist and fog in the valley bottoms, but that soon cleared. It didn't last long, the brightness, though. It's been a miserable afternoon with dull, misty weather, rain and drizzle as well. If you've got any pictures this weekend, and it is going to be brighter this weekend, those are your addresses. So your headline for tomorrow, it might get off to a slow start, but it does look as though it's going to brighten up quite nicely from the west. So we should see quite a bit of sunshine as we head through the second half of the morning and into the afternoon. And then on Sunday, this feature probably bringing patchy rain into western areas early afternoon. It might hold off from the coast until Sunday evening. But all in all, the weekend is not looking too bad. Next week, though, looks very unsettled with rain returning from the southwest. Now, we've got some drizzle and light rain at the moment. This feature will come across us tonight. In between, we've got some gaps in the cloud with all this moisture around. It does look as though we'll see quite a bit of mist and fog in places. And then that patchy rain and drizzle returns. Whichever way you look at it, it's a dull and dreary autumnal night, and we'll see temperatures coming in at around about 10 or 11 degrees. So tomorrow's high water times in Scarborough 5:28, Bridlington at 5:44. So a bit of a murky start with mist and fog and some low cloud, a bit of drizzle in places too, but it won't be long before it brightens up in the west. That bright weather reaching the coast late morning around lunchtime, and then the afternoon looks really nice for getting out and about. It's dry and bright with spells of sunshine, just a light or moderate southwest wind. We'll see temperatures reaching 14 Celsius, that is 57 degrees Fahrenheit. So Saturday night might see a bit of mist and patchy fog in places. Sunday, maybe that fog lingers a little bit, but generally speaking, Sunday morning looks dry and bright with some sunshine. There's that weather front. Current timings bring a bit of patchy rain onto the Pennines around the middle of the day, and that gradually inches eastwards, but it doesn't really amount to very much across eastern parts on Sunday afternoon. We'll see temperatures around 14. Next week, for Amy's Children in Need Challenge, it could be quite wet. That's the forecast.
Oh, the jeopardy. Thank you very much, Paul. That's it from us. Do have a lovely weekend, whatever you have planned. We'll be back with the late news and weather at the usual time of around 10:30. Hope you can join us then. Goodbye.